Okay, we have a motion. And we have a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, once again, hearing from this Catherine Kaysen, question she proposed, attorney everybody else up here, and not giving a complete explanation of what this entitles. I wish we had the state's attorney here to help further that. I'd rather see this table until we have that state's attorney to further explain, because we not get a clarification from our attorney and anybody else up here.
I think he did explain. He
No.
just basically said all this is it's an ordinance that we have to have the state's attorney.
Right, I understand that.
I mean, it has nothing to do with whatever's going on in the city. It's just an agreement for us with the state's attorney.
But we heard this case in.
But that has nothing to do with this, though.
But that even could have found the attorney on something. He could have, well, finally give her an answer.
But that's an issue in the thing. We just have to go into a contract because our ordinance says we have to go into contract with the state's attorney.
So what's wrong with having the state's attorney go up here and explain this, since he legally can explain everything that he's going to take over?
Mr. Jefferson, this is Chief Davis, maybe I can help you a little with that. Some of the ordinances, no, I'm not a state's attorney, but I'm trying to give you a little explanation of what this is for.
Okay.
Some of the city ordinances that have state statutes that goes with it, like open containers out in the public or something like that. If we choose to write it under city ordinance, we have to have this agreement with the state attorney for them to prosecute it, which makes it cheaper on the citizens and brings a little money to the city. If we just charge it under state statute, then they have to handle it, but it costs more money for them and all that stuff. So this is just a benefit to help the city so we can charge ordinances instead of always having to use state statute.
All right, Ms. Casey.
Does that make any more sense to you?
Clarification on that?
All right, so if she has clarification, now we have a motion and a second, so it's got.
Well, we also have discussion.
Can I ask a question? So Chief, these folks that get caught with an open container, or whatever the law is they violate, they're going to be prosecuted by the city
Or the
or the
state
state
attorney.
attorney.
One or the other.
They're not, it has nothing to do with the ordinance. We're not sicking the state attorney on somebody to prosecute them. They're going to be prosecuted because they violated a city ordinance. This agreement says we're either going to do it or the state attorney's going to do it. We're opting to, or you're opting to have the state attorney do it because it's going to save the city money.
Right.
It's not going to change. Nobody's going to be prosecuted more or less because the state attorney's involved. Is that correct? Am I understanding?
That's correct. My understanding as well.
Well, just clarification, because like I said, it was confusing. So now, you probably said more than anybody else said anything. A clarification, so I can get it now, I understand it now.
Awesome.
Whether we have a motion or a second,
We got a motion
it's
and a
time
second.
for discussion, then that privilege is still there. So I'm ready to go.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carried.
You understand? I mean, we don't want to leave out here without you understanding.
I just said, I understood.
Okay, let's go to item H. Mr. Sessions.
Mr. Bradford wanted to speak on this one. Yeah, Mr. Bradford wanted to speak on.
You want to speak on that?
Just any questions or?
3 minutes. Yes, sir. We're fine.
Just in case there's any questions, that's all I signed up.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mr. Sessions.
No, he can, I'd like for him to speak, go ahead.
So the property in question, 405 Scriven Avenue, there was a dilapidated house that was uninhabitable. It had no floors in it. The building, the structure was falling down. There was a shed. Apparently there was a code enforcement lien that had been placed in like 2019. It didn't show up on a record search at the time that the property was transferred. Since the time that K&J Properties acquired the property, all the code enforcement issues have been corrected. The structures have been torn down and a brand new duplex that houses 2 families within the city of Live Oak and created revenue by city utility connections, property taxes. And it's been changed from a disgusting piece of property that was a blight on our city to a useful piece of property that's provided for housing and revenue for the city of Blythe. So we would ask that, you would consider releasing the code enforcement liens that had been previously placed on the property as a good faith measure so that we can move forward with the property. And again, it extends a good faith from the city of Blythe to anyone that's willing to take these dilapidated properties and transform them into prosperous pieces of our city.
Do we know the lien amount?
Yes, I'm at legal now. It's $47,175. That's because it's been 1,887 days at $25 a day. My recommendation is that we remove the lien and let them pay the $500 to move forward.
Okay, you've heard the recommendations of staff.
I'll have a motion to approve the removal of, or the release, I'm sorry, of the code enforcement lien on 405 Scriven Ave.
Okay, we have a motion.
Just make sure, because I think we have the surcharge, we've been,
That's the $500.
make sure that's included in the motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
so that motion was to include.
Remove the lien and add the $500 surcharge.
Okay, two big motions for that.
Sure. Offer motion to approve both the release of the lien on 405 Scriven Ave and to enforce the $500 surcharge.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. Item I.
On the District 2 road improvement project, we went out to bid, and we've got the improvement project here where there's two contractors that bid on it. Lava Management Group at $492,953.51. First Construction was $669,704.66. And after some discussion and some search for information, we found out that the Lava Management Group did have the ability to perform this function, and we'd like to award the bid to them.
You've heard staff's recommendations.
Offer motion to approve the award of bid ITB-01-2024.
So we have a
Lava
motion.
Management Group, LLC. Sorry.
There we have a motion.
Need a motion?
Got it?
Need a second?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Is there any further discussion?
I have a question for Mr. Sessions. Mr. Sessions, that District 2 road, or is that just one project, the amount of money?
It's one project for this particular one.
Okay, for that bid. Okay. All right. Okay. Good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J, this is an ordinance.
Ordinance number 1512, an ordinance of the city of Live Oak, Florida, amending the future land use classification of 2.403 acres or more or less, small scale, on the future land use plan map of the city of Live Oak comprehensive plan pursuant to an application CPA 2401 by the City Council of the City of Live Oak under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3215 Florida statutes as amended, and Article 3 of the Land Development Regulations, providing for a change in the assigned future land use classification from commercial to residential moderate density on certain lands within the corporate limits of the city of Live Oak, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing authority, and providing an effective date. So this is a second reading, so you need to open up a public hearing for any comment on this one.
Okay, this is the final reading of ordinance 1512. Is there anybody in the community that would like to speak upon this? Seeing none, we will close. This is the final reading, so what is the wishes of the council?
I'll offer a motion to approve the final reading of ordinance 1512.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second?
And we have a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion for ordinance 1512 passes.
All right, ordinance 1513, which is a companion ordinance, an ordinance of the city of Live Florida, amending the zoning district of 2.403 acres more or less of land on the official zoning atlas of the city of Live Oak, Florida, development regulations pursuant to an application LDR 24-01 by the city council of the city of Live Oak under the amendment procedures established in Article 3 of the land development regulations, providing for a change in the assigned zoning district from commercial general CG to residential single family 2 RSF 2 on certain lands within the corporate limits of the city of Live Oak, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing authority, and providing an effective date. Likewise, a public hearing.
Okay, this is ordinance 1513, the final reading. At this time, we'll open it up to the public comment. And seeing none, we will close public comment. Okay, what is the wishes of the staff? The council?
Offer approval of final reading of ordinance 1513.
Okay, we have a motion,
Second.
and we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Final reading of ordinance 1513 passes. Item L. This is for a special call meeting on May 28th, which would be right after the CRA meeting. Is that everybody all right with that? Do I make a motion for that? It's just information purposes. Okay, that's the last item. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
No, before we do, let's just thank Jason for Parks, Swan Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Jason volunteered to be on your committee, so you
Thank you, Chase. You're not busy enough. It's good.
4-hour meetings 3 times a week.
He said he would. And
Yeah,
he
motion
was
to
such
adjourn.
a question.
Mr. Jefferson, you did motion, and this.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Meeting adjourned.